I woke up this morning early. I was on the elliptical, and none other than our 6'5" friend, and he's been on multiple times now, so I think we can call him a friend of the 6'5". Darius Adamczyk was on CNBC talking about the company's most recent earning report. It was a beat and raise quarter. Now, let's just talk about one big macro here. The money flowing out of big tech is flowing into industrials. I think we've had 5 days in a row of gains on the Dow, which is because people are looking and saying, well, if tech's not going to grow or come back immediately, where do we put our money? Well, I've said for a while, maybe the best place in the world is in a company that is using technology and even is building technology, but is doing so for some of these industrial markets. So I talked about the bifurcation of deflationary tech being implemented, automation and AI and cloud, but another area is tech being applied to legacy industries or older industries, manufacturing, building technologies, aviation and aerospace. And these are the core businesses of the company. So Darius seemed very optimistic. Now, he did say that, he does think that there's going to be a tighter period, but that their core businesses like aerospace are doing very, very well. It was a beat and raise quarter that the company basically, performed strong. And by the way, it's only, the company's up like 19% in just the past couple of weeks. So great indication of what's going on. Now, this is a company that's got the same headwinds as global tech companies. The FX is a headwind to them. Europe is a headwind to them. They are now, well over half of their products now are ESG oriented. So I'm not sure if everybody out there is familiar, but I'm really proud to say that Futurum had partnered with Honeywell this year to launch a first quarterly environmental sustainability index. And so we were working with them and talking a little bit about how companies are still planning to invest more, that they're going to budget more, they're going to spend more, and they're planning to work on achieving their goals on this sustainability. And Pat, I say this with a caveat, because I know how you feel about this. We talk a lot about it. This wasn't about marketecture. This study was about action, visibility, data, and companies that are meaningfully doing things like changing their fuel sources to more sustainable fuel. This isn't like, oh my gosh, are we going to put a bunch of windmills in front of our building that are going to power one laptop for the next, 6 minutes over the next 10 years? So that was another thing that we were really proud of this quarter, is that, you got a company that's making investments, that's growing, that's minimizing its layoffs, that's increasing its OpEx, it's increasing its cash flow, it's increasing its sales, and it's doing so while putting sustainability into the narrative in industries like manufacturing, buildings, and aerospace, where you're talking real big consumers with significant carbon footprints. But Pat, we talk about Honeywell through the lens of tech. That's really where we try to focus. This is a company that's building IoT technologies to, provide data and analytics in manufacturing facilities. They're building warehouse automation technologies. They're building management systems that are trying to, create more sustainable, but also more livable building environments for people to work. This is what Honeywell does. And this is why I think we keep coming back to the company, because, right now in an era where traditional, exciting, breakthrough, innovative tech companies are struggling, companies like Honeywell that are in these big and traditional industries are actually performing quite well. So, congratulations to them. I think you're heading off to their big Honeywell Connected Enterprise event next week. I don't know if you want to jump in and talk a little bit about that, or you want to talk about their earnings in particular. But God, what a good quarter. And Darius, we're here in case you want to jump back on the show at some point in the near future.
Yeah, Darius is a friend of the 6'5", and we always appreciate talking with him. What I'd like to do is talk a little bit about the segments, Daniel. And, to your point of Darius getting on CNBC and having a really good interview, what I was emailed from Honeywell was that Honeywell is the most talked about companies in the U.S. across all news items over the last 12 hours, according to Factiva. So whatever he said and whatever the company did is definitely making a difference. And I do believe, again, we don't give investment advice here, but I do think if you look at the names of the companies that had great quarters, they're not these trillion-dollar companies. They are these smaller companies that some people have characterized as companies of the past. And I think that is changing. If you look at the segment results from Honeywell, aerospace up double digits, right? It's all about commercial aviation. And this is even during a time of supply chain challenges. Oh, and their profitability was up 40 basis points. Building technologies up 19%. Okay, that's all about running your, using HCE, running the building from your smartphone. Performance materials and technologies, right? I sometimes criticize companies who greenwash. Honeywell is a company that actually makes technologies that are less pollutant, that use less energy. And some of their biggest customers in energy and in aerospace and in manufacturing are some of the biggest users of energy and chemicals. That business unit was up 14%. Safety and productivity off 4%, unfortunately, but profitability was up 250 basis points. And this was due to some declines. The revenue was off due to warehouse and workflow design. So if you go into the biggest distribution centers on the planet and you see packages going on conveyor belts, that is Honeywell technology. I do want to end on this event that I'm going to next week, and I recommend that all of you tune in. Some things that I think we gleaned from earnings was that HCE, which is their SaaS and digital transformation platform, we finally see it go across all the main segments that it's targeting. And, whether it's warehouses, site management, factories, like I talked about before, complete supply chains, Forge SaaS goes across every single one of these. From a financial standpoint, HCE is driving a 30% CAGR year over year. And I'm hoping to hear a little bit more details at this event. So I'm excited about it, Daniel. I'm going to miss you there, but you'll be there in spirit.